Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Group Chat.
Wow, we got a big guest today.
We got a big guest.
Big.
There was a lot of beef, and we squashed it. So
we sent him to Texas.
Sent him to Texas. He came back with a driver's license.
And a new watch.
That's good for the taxes. Taylor Offer is back.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
He's
there we
our
go.
he's our millennial barometer. Where's the world?
Yeah, and you can tell what city is the hottest in the country by where Taylor is currently at, and here he is.
He's in LA.
For now.
So it must be good.
It's opening up.
Things are opening back up. We got a lot to talk about.
I don't even listen to the governor anymore or anybody who controls the state. I just wait for Taylor to come back. And then I'm like, oh, good thing's about to happen.
That's probably smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, lots to talk about today. We're going to catch up with Taylor and what he's learned during quarantine time, the nomad lifestyle. Is it the best lifestyle for everyone? Is it just an option? Or like Onnit says, is it stupid?
Ooh.
And also, we're going to end the episode with a little bit of a debate on, I'll just say it. Are Logan and Jake Paul the smartest people of Taylor's generation?
According to Taylor, it is.
Yes.
We'll see.
Are they just piercing the so-called veil
It
of
sounds
the
like
entertainment industry?
they might be. We will talk about it, and we'll let you guys decide. Send us a message. Let us know what you think. Let's get into it.
Rate and review 5 stars.
Woo! 5.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, Group Chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
All right, the beef's over.
We got the vegan guy in the
The
building.
vegan guy's back. Listen, our listeners are sure that there's like real beef here.
Well, let's squash it. We don't do beef. We're vegans now.
Okay, we're vegan.
Are you vegan?
No. Maybe.
Taylor's back.
Taylor's back, and let me tell you, he's got a Rolex on his wrist.
That is a new Rolex.
He comes in with
Airbnb hopping's been good for you.
It's been good.
And he comes in within 5 minutes. He's talking to me about his summer. He's like, I'm going to be in the Hamptons for Memorial Day. I'm going to be Hamptons July 4th. I'm going to Italy. And I was like, how much money did you make during the pandemic? How many PPP loans did you take?
It's
We're going to read about PPP fraud soon.
It's funny
Crypto,
because the beginning of the pandemic, you were getting smoked on SBXU.
Yeah.
You lost $250,000.
Not that much, but I lost a lot.
And now you just show up with a
I
Rolex.
switched to long positions and everything.
Okay.
And I've been on fire in the portfolio.
Okay.
So once I switched, life's been good.
Yeah, stocks only go up.
It's a good
Stocks only
advertisement for leaving LA too, because like all the money you saved on that rent got you a Rolex. You know what I mean?
Not directly, but
Move
yeah.
to Austin, buy a Rolex.
Life is cheap in Austin. It's really cheap.
Is it?
Relatively, yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, you're probably paying the same money for rent.
No. I live in like a super nice luxury apartment building, infrared sauna, pool, everything.
Wait, where do you live currently?
Good question.
For the purposes
your
of
name
income
on a
tax.
lease
Yeah, this great state of Texas.
Yeah, so I have a Texas driver's license now.
Wow.
So I fully switched over.
Okay.
So if the IRS is watching this, I live in Texas.
Oh, they're convinced now. Nice.
That's my proof.
So how much do you, give me how much do things cost in Austin?
Oh, it's cheap. So like
what's your apartment cost?
a 2-bedroom in the super nice building downtown, walking distance to everything, $2,500 with everything you need, which is really relatively inexpensive.
That is cheap.
You go get a coffee, it's like $2.50. You go to you get a breakfast tacos, it's like $1.75. It's just so cheap, and you're like, whoa. Drinks at the bar, like a beer's $5. You're like, that makes sense. It's cheap.
That is cheap.
And you walk everywhere. You don't have to Uber.
Yeah.
And all your activities you do are outside. I bike, I play soccer, I go for runs outside. You don't spend money. It's just like,
You just do shit outside.
yeah, it's crazy. You could actually live without spending money, which is pretty wild. And then when I go to New York, it's the opposite story. Where everything costs money.
So you're still hopping around though.
Yeah, and I think I will for a while. It's the way to live. There's no point to sign I haven't signed a year lease in 4 years, probably 5 years. And it's just like a couple months at a time and go where it's hot. Like New York was hot the past couple weeks. I was there. LA's opening. It's hot right now. Austin was hot for a while.
Austin's over, huh?
It's just not as hot anymore. It's more like it's like nerdy tech guys. It's like San Francisco 2.0, where it's like once Miami started, Austin was the place at the beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then Miami just came and took that and said, well.
So you've been to Miami?
Yeah.
So I've heard Miami is actually real. in terms of like people that actually want to do business and professionals and like not just fuckery.
Yeah, I mean it's a combination, right? The best fuckery people are the best, also do the best business because they can afford it. But like Miami, like when we were there, we do like Komodo or this or that, and it's like it's popped with all these really successful business people who are also partying and having the time of their lives.
Got it.
That's amazing.
So you've been your pandemic's been since we last saw you. You were in Nashville, Austin, Miami, New York. Where else?
Florida,
a lot of time in Florida.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Tampa. Where else did we go? I think that's mostly it. Did a little bit of Mexico, a couple trips there. Went to Philadelphia.
Who are you with, Parker? Who's your...
Yeah, I'm not traveling with Parker a lot, but he's in San Diego, so I went to San Diego a lot.
But who's your like sidekick? Are you by yourself?
Traveling with Parker, girlfriend.
But you have a new girlfriend.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about
Let's talk about it.
This is a new girlfriend from the last girlfriend we talked about?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so confused.
So
You're a big
girlfriend-
It's been a year.
The Fox News girlfriend is gone.
Got it. So now
Fox
there's
News girlfriend.
Which is the fuck
You got radicalized by her family.
Oh, not
maybe we should leave that out.
no.
fuck it. She's gone.
She's gone. Who
Yeah,
cares?
what do we
She
care?
got radicalized. You got radicalized by your ex-girlfriend who was a Fox News.
No, I make my own opinions.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
You
Got
came on the podcast and told us you were in Tampa and you were radicalized because you watched
I
Fox News. 'cause
understood
of
the
your
other
girlfriend's
side a
family.
lot more from living in Florida. You
That's how
could
it started.
see how people start to live and understand. When you live in the bubble of LA, where it's like either you're super liberal or you're wrong, it's hard to even ever look at the other side. So being in Tampa, it's like, oh, wow. I can understand why some people might
You
want
know
to have
what?
guns.
We may need that wall. It's a little too
So
So
that's
is it-
some good points.
Yeah.
The new girlfriend, not as much MAGA?
She's not mine.
Got it. Okay. So would you say that this lesson you learned during pandemic will last with you for a long time? Like you're going to hop around for a very long time.
Well, I was living this way before. So like,
But not this crazy.
yeah, I was doing like living in Park City, living in LA.
Yeah, he was.
Hopping everywhere. I do like ski season in Park City, then summer here or
So
whatever.
the only thing that changes is the Texas driver's license.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't make sense to have your business in California and pay an extra 13%. So
Yeah. Get a Rolex.
yeah, exactly. Get a couple. That's how business is doing.
Well, it sounds like with those tax savings and rent savings, I mean, that alone, you can get
Yeah.
some nice things.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's good.
And so what's the next? You're obviously gonna summer vacay your face off,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
but you know you gotta you have to stay in Texas, I assume.
You got to do, my understanding is, and I have to check with Eric on this, but 6 months in a day. And
183 days.
yeah, so I have like 90 something days left in Texas.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but I got 6 months. I'll make it happen.
But you have a lot of trips planned in these 90s a month.
Yeah, you work it in. Worst case, I send Pete there with my credit card and do some swipes.
Yeah.
I live in this nice sauna building with all the
Yeah, it'd
amenities.
be perfect. You'll have no income, so you'll need a cheap place to live.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a lunch with someone who's a crypto guy that moved to Puerto Rico on Friday, and he said 183 days is
Yeah,
what you have to
Puerto
do.
Rico's the move. So Logan
Yeah.
Paul just moved there, and a bunch
Yeah.
of other people are moving
But that's
there.
no
Matt
federal
from Yes
income
Theory
tax
moved there.
either.
No
right?
federal tax.
Yeah.
So
Well-
he's trading in and out of crypto
Yeah.
and just making a killing.
Yeah.
And no capital gains.
Yes.
But
See, I could do that.
You should move to Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
I
You
know
should.
I know a lot of people have moved to Puerto
A
Rico.
lot. Yeah, it makes sense. Taxes suck.
Yeah. But I mean, you have, given if Puerto Rico suits the life you want to lead, right?
Yeah, and if you're a single crypto guy,
Yeah.
it's pretty easy.
Yeah. If you're a single crypto guy, it's great.
And I heard there's like crypto communities where like they know who the scammers are and they're like, oh, I want to stay away from the scammers and like
I mean,
there's
Puerto
different
Rico's
gated
filled with them.
communities. Yes,
Of
of
all
course.
these people who are avoiding
Yes.
taxes all over the world.
Yes.
It's like living in like BVI
Or Monaco or something. Yeah, it's a good life.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That's
Is
interesting.
that we caught up? Is there anything? What else? Is there anything else?
What else are we missing out in the world? Because we haven't been anywhere.
It's open. I mean, it's funny here because everyone's like, Corona doesn't exist anymore, but it's like that's been like that for the past 12 months, past 18 months. So the world's been open.
Does California seem abnormally behind or extra safe?
Yeah, by far. When I come back here like 6 months ago, and like I go for a run outside.
Forget 6 months ago. Let's talk about last 3 months. Because I think LA you have to talk post February.
Okay.
Because that's when vaccines actually got rolled out. So I know young people didn't have to worry about corona 6 months ago. I get that. I understand that. But now a lot of people are vaccinated in LA. Older, younger, all populations. So how do you feel about what you see today?
Well, it's still like, I mean, like, is Poppy open yet or any of the, like,
This week.
Cinco de
really?
Mayo.
This week, everything opens.
Everything's open.
okay, so that's when I think it will start being fun. But like in Texas, like 6 months ago, we were going to like Deadmau5 concerts and like all these, like, it was popping.
Yeah.
And even now. So yeah.
Are you vaccinated?
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you have corona? No.
I never got corona.
That's unbelievable.
I wear a mask.
That's unbelievable. That is absolutely.
You went to Tulum, though, right?
I did not go to Tulum. All my friends went to Tulum and they all got corona.
Yeah.
Was Tulum a hotbed or
Oh,
something?
was a
Tulum,
hot
everyone went to Tulum.
It's like when you walk,
That's
check
where
into the
our boy
hotel,
got
they're
it,
like,
right?
here's your room card and Corona.
Corona.
Yeah.
In about 2 days, you
Here's
start
your
feeling symptoms.
oximeter or whatever.
Yeah, pulse oximeter.
But
Yeah.
everyone said it was the most fun time and it was worth it.
I'm
Worth the
sure it was like
COVID?
it was like another planet,
Yeah, it was-
basically.
And then is
Wow.
Miami just like as absurd as it looks? Or?
Yeah. Miami's insane. Like absolutely insane.
So is it insane pre-pandemic insane or is it insane post-pandemic insane? Meaning like
By what
our
standard?
norm
Yeah.
is like
Miami's
we haven't
insane.
seen anyone.
Yeah.
So
No,
how do you
it was
how
like,
do you like
it was,
prioritize
for
it?
example, it was like, remember Super Bowl weekend in Miami? It felt like that.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. All the energy with everyone there. And it
Yeah.
was just wild.
And
Every
no one
weekend
gives
Super
a
Bowl.
shit. Like clubs packed. No one.
No. I mean, no.
That's
It was
so
wild. And then when you get to like South Beach in Miami, insane. Like the streets are flooded. Like people fighting in the streets and all like the Lambos going around playing all their music and just like, it's
that's
wild.
Miami.
You fit in right in. You had your Lambo, your
Yeah.
watch, you just screaming and yelling.
Rented both
Fighting.
of them for the day. And
Yeah.
I feel like he's going into like a poker house. He's got his Rolex and his sweats.
He's ready to go.
It's like rounders. He's
Yeah.
doing, like,
He's got an 18-hour
he's got the Oreo
gig.
cookie on his fucking ear.
Too much money, huh? All that Texas money.
something like that.
Jesus.
Should we go to news?
Yeah.
Do we feel good?
Yeah.
All right. Well, here's a good one for Taylor.
That's why I put it there.
All right. There's this story in Bloomberg that affluent Americans are rushing to retire early
Yeah.
because there's a bit of a new mindset going around. And that mindset is life is short, also known as YOLO.
Yellow.
Taylor, relatable or?
Yeah. Yeah. It just
Do you work?
Yeah, I actually work. I mean, here's the thing with working. Like, I think most people think you have to work 9 to 5 every day.
Yeah.
And it's just like, get your shit done and you can get it done in a couple hours if you actually work hard. So I get my shit done and I have fun.
Or is Parker just doing all the work?
No, I do a lot of the work. I spend a lot of time working.
So if I asked Parker, he would say you work
I
hard.
feel like Parker's grinding.
no.
Parker's in San Diego?
Yeah.
He's
He's waking up at
Parker's
5
literally,
a.m.
like,
having a cold
responding to
brew and
customer
grinding
service.
it out.
If you get your shit done though, like you can get shit done quickly
Okay.
and then you can go enjoy life. But yeah, I think this is true. Like people don't want to wait to retire or wait to vacation. It's like you could live like you're on vacation and work on vacation really easily.
I
like
think
a
that's a
t-shirt.
bad message.
Actually, here's the thing. I'll take your crew of friends. They're obviously well to do.
Most of my friends are retired.
Yeah, honestly, your crew is like the unemployment line. Nobody fucking works, right? Just walking around, and here's the thing is that yes, they so happen to be very wealthy, but like you actually don't have to be that wealthy if you live in a cheaper place and you could have the best life.
It's Tim Ferriss talks about that. The new rich is
Tim Ferriss is so rich. The guy was an advisor to Shopify when in their seed round.
Yeah.
Do you know how much money Tim Ferriss has?
a lot.
I know,
But before he had a lot of money, he was talking about
Like,
you're
it's
rich with your time,
ridiculous.
not your money.
Yeah, no, but it was not referring to Tim Ferriss. It's referring to what he is preaching.
Yeah.
Tim Ferriss is probably worth $100 million.
Sure.
But before
that's
that, Tim
At
Ferriss
least.
would talk about being the new rich where he had all this free time.
Yeah.
And that's what people prioritize. It's like, you just go enjoy your life. And my friends who live this way are all financially successful for their age. Like these are people in their 20s making a lot of money
Yeah.
and living like they're on vacation every single day.
Yeah.
Is that what the life is short mindset is? What's the life is short mindset? Just are these exactly compatible or is it?
No, I mean, so this group, what they're talking about, there's predominantly white, 55 plus year old people
Okay.
that there's like 2.7 million people that are potentially retirement worthy in terms of financial safety.
Mm-hmm.
And typically a 55-year-old is not like old in the workforce, right? Like you're probably of your peak in your late 40s, early 50s. And you're seeing like a lot of these folks say, okay, life is short. I need to consider what are my options? Because I don't want to, I think the pandemic for older people definitely put a lot of pressure, because this is what happened last year is like something like that can happen again. Maybe not like a virus or specifically a pandemic, but some sort of
I would say a worse pandemic could very easily happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the bigger thing is like we are now living in this like environment where these like global tectonic shifts can happen overnight. Something can happen tonight, and tomorrow our entire world.
I mean, there's a fucking 10-story tall Chinese rocket booster falling to Earth.
Is that real?
No one knows about this?
What kind of TikTok rabbit hole did you
Yeah. This sounds like a TikTok drama.
Bro, Google it. There is a fucking Chinese 10-story. They launched a rocket into orbit. The booster accidentally went into orbit as well. And sometime in the next 2 weeks, it is set to fall to Earth from orbit. Nothing this big has ever.
I mean, it's good. Will it burn through when it enters the atmosphere?
A lot of it will. Okay. But it'll still, whatever it hits, luckily the majority of the planet is ocean and not.
I mean, it's going to destroy whatever it hits.
Can we just like kind of rewind a little bit? Because I think it's a little bit of
the Chinese thing.
Was it the booster?
The booster that got him scared?
It's just a little bubble talk that, obviously this group of people that Taylor hangs out with that make a lot of money that can basically punt life. Like, hey, I just want to
That's what you think of me?
He's a punter.
He's fucking a punter. He's literally punting life. Like, I'm going to Tulum. I'm going to Dubai. I'm going to Europe. That's not normal.
Yeah.
And most people...
But that's what they want to do, though.
I know that's what people want to do, but that's not normal. And I don't think that's a right, mold of trying to preach to people, because that's not attainable to most people.
It's not that expensive. Like you can get an Airbnb somewhere in these places, whether Austin, Tulum, Miami, for a couple grand a month. And if you don't have an apartment lease, if you don't have anything else. But you have to
have a job. You're a successful entrepreneur. You can do that.
Yeah, but a lot of work is remote now. And if you get a job that's paying you 80 grand a year, let's say, you could live a great life traveling on that money.
I think the reasonable conversation is people are waking up to the fact that is more now an option than it has ever been, if that's the life you want to go after.
Yeah.
That's, I don't think it's the key to life. I don't think it's necessarily the better life. I think it's more an option now than it has ever been in human history. I think that's the conversation.
And isn't that where the trend's going with remote work, though? It's it seems like you can make money in a lot. It's the traditional get one job and be in the office 9 to 5 every day. It seems like it's dead to my generation. And maybe I'm in a bubble. But it's have multiple income streams, do some investing, do some freelance stuff, do this, work when you want, where you want, make enough money and go travel where you want to live.
I think sometimes. I think the same thing. I honestly think it is an option that's more available than it was ever before. But I think there's a lot of places where that doesn't work. There's a lot of places where remote work is proving not to be successful. There's a lot of jobs that you actually do want to perform and focus on one thing and move up the ranks and become VP and blah, 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 and all that stuff. That's still very much alive. But I think this new way of doing it was never really an option. With the combination of Airbnb, the internet, what the pandemic did to showing how remote work can work, things like Slack, all that, it's just more an option than it's ever been if that's what you're into. Mm-hmm. But if you want, these guys, you want to start a family, you have family in LA, that wasn't really an option for them. And I don't think it was even that appetizing to you guys. I mean, maybe for a year
I have no interest in bouncing around.
Yeah. But I think that for a certain group of young people,
I've already seen it.
It's a new option.
And I will continue.
Okay.
It's different. We grew up different. We didn't have that urge to do that when we were growing up. We were happy sitting in an office. We weren't disappointed sitting in an office.
I don't think we have any FOMO.
But also, when you guys were younger, you just did it differently. You sat in an office for long stretches of time, and then you partied your balls off in foreign countries for short sprints.
Yeah.
And then you came back and did that again, and then whatever. You weren't working when you were in Brazil.
No.
You were not thinking about work whatsoever.
I blacked out.
It's just a different way of doing it. But yeah, it's cool. I think it's cool that it's an option that was never really that viable of an option before. Yeah. And now you can consider it.
Can I actually paint the counter to what Taylor's lifestyle is? Mm-hmm. Is that when we were just in the office, we work and we're focused when we're in LA. Mm-hmm. When we leave LA, we go to Hong Kong, Philippines, Thailand, wherever. We just shut down and we just partied our fucking balls off. So we had this like insane experience of like work and then shut off and then go have fun.
Yeah.
And, you know, the Taylor generation is basically like, they're always like fake working. So they're not actually experiencing like the fun we had.
No,
So I think we had more fun.
Here's the thing.
This is the most bubble shit we've ever possibly done.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is like, you know, if I were to do it over again, Taylor's last 2 years doesn't sound bad to me. If I was 24, 25,
But during a pandemic.
no, I mean,
No, because if LA was on fire the last 12 months, Taylor would not have fucking left.
True. If LA was popping, I would be here.
yeah, that's fine. I'm just saying, like, even having the option when I was younger, just first of all, like, there wasn't even the opportunity to have flexible leases. Because there was no Airbnb. There was no, every landlord had wanted 1 year, 2 year commitment, right? The fact that exists, that flexibility and all the rules are broken. I mean, I told you just when we were at the birthday party this morning, I'm like, I would live in New York for a month. I'm dying to live in New York with my family for like a month.
Fun.
It'd be fun. Like this time of year. Go do that, do it for a month and come back. Like, I think it would be really interesting and fun. But like, we have that, we can do that now. That was never possible previously. And I think that's the flexibility. And I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying, like, because I know so many of Taylor's friends, they do work hard, but you know, they get to live this fantasy land life.
But
like,
Onnit is right. It doesn't turn off, which is like, you could be, there's both sides of the coin, right? Like, you could spend most of your day having fun and then all of a sudden you get an email and you have to go stop what you're doing and respond to it. Or you have to be on Slack or something happening. So
when is that? Before the 2 hour run or after the 4 hour bike ride?
whenever. I'll pull over on the bike.
Before the shrooms.
What'd you say?
Before the shrooms.
During. I did some microdosing sessions. That was a whole different type of work. But it's always on. But as long as it's just part of your life.
Okay,
So
listen, at the risk of...
work is just like an ongoing part that exists. And whether you're in Tulum, Miami, whatever, it's just like...
For sure.
It just continues.
Yeah. But you could set boundaries. Hey, I'm going to dinner, or hey, this, hey, that. As if you have a good team around you. But it's always on.
Got it.
But with e-commerce, it's always on. Like, something goes wrong on your site, you have to stop what you're doing and fix it.
Yeah.
It's always on.
Okay. Bubble alert. We got to move on. Okay. I think we're going to get creamed. You know what I mean? 99% of our listeners are like, fuck, what? None of this is an option.
I'm kicked off for a year again.
Okay. Warren Buffett just did his annual shareholder conference.
Usually it's this like big spectacle in Omaha.
What do you do now? Zoom?
Yeah, I mean, basically, it was a good video.
That sucks. Anything worth noting?
I think the couple big takeaways. The biggest was he was really going hard on Robinhood, saying that it was gambling for, you know, that's Robinhood generation investors.
Yeah.
That the way they gamified the app is kind of dangerous. So I thought that was the big takeaway.
Yeah.
These fuckers trimmed their Apple position, which they feel guilty about, but they own almost 1 billion shares of Apple. I mean, like, talk about, like, he had like a record quarter, like, they, you know, just absurd amount of wealth that they've created. And Charlie Munger, who's effectively his partner, he's 97 years old, right?
That's insane.
Wow.
These guys are sitting there still talking about investing in stock. And
is Charlie still like actively chatting about it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Munger's all over the...
He's
all over
He's
it.
actually 97?
97.
That's insane.
wild.
How old's Buffett?
He's in his 80s.
80s.
Wow.
So not quite the same as you guys, you know, they just...
They work. They're hard.
They just don't. Yeah.
They're also billionaires.
Yeah, but I think
Different levels.
for them, this is all they know, right?
Yeah.
Like that, it's like our specifically like our parents' generation. Like they don't know. Like I couldn't imagine our parents' generation saying, "We're going to do 3 months here and 6 weeks."
Hey, your dad kind of did it.
Yeah, he
Your
did.
dad kind of lived the Taylor life for a
Yeah,
little
he
bit.
did it
I'm
for
gonna
a
go
year.
work in Hawaii.
He did it for a year and got heart problems.
Yeah, true.
So I mean,
I agree. It is a very different life. But do you guys feel like it seems to me, I guess not. They're making so much money. I got to be careful how I'm like hating. But it just seems like they missed this tech.
they definitely,
They
whole
definitely
thing.
missed it, and they were completely off, and I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
That's the point. That's why I stopped myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's like, you know, they knew Coca-Cola and railroads.
Yeah.
They missed entire technology. But
they-
they were investing in such volumes of capital that it didn't matter, but they were wrong. Like
Yeah.
there's like Warren Buffett is, as great of an investor as we'll ever see.
Yeah.
But he missed the biggest trend in the history of the world.
Yeah.
So how do we phrase that when we think about it historically?
But it's just
it doesn't matter for him money. I'm not talking about like
But
how much
that's
money he makes.
from an investing standpoint, that's all that matters. No one gets rewarded for being a good person.
No, but he started with a base so big before technology started that it didn't matter if he missed it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just sitting on just piles of money. It's just out of.
I mean, he missed the boat.
Sure. I'm just saying, well, to your point,
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And it's like he's in his 80s and like, should an 80-year-old know technology?
Yeah.
That's a different question.
Yeah, because even technology, let's say technology was 11 years ago, 12 years ago, he was still 70. So it's like not like, even at 72 or whatever, when technology started.
He had a good run.
Yeah, he had his run. And doesn't matter. But it's interesting. There's a lot of like highlights that are worth reading because they just have they've been doing this longer than everybody else. So they're the most successful ever at it still.
I mean, the most important Buffett quote of all time that everyone, even Pete with your Dogecoin.
Yep.
It's not timing the market. It's timing the market. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
You got that, Pete?
Yeah, as a veteran of the market now.
It's literally, he's
that's
a
what he does
philosopher. I honestly think Warren Buffett is as great of an investor, as great of a philosopher in explaining investing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Pete took it literally. So he just sits in the grocery store and just goes around the market.
Yeah, he's like,
all
I've been
day.
here for
Just
5
like,
hours.
I've been here 5 hours.
What
What's all
happens? When do I get rich?
He's like, time and market? Okay. I left Whole Foods. It's 9.5 hours.
I've been to Trader Joe's, Whole Foods.
Okay. Well, shout out to the OG.
Yeah.
Speaking of, let's do a little throwback because, I think our bags episode was a huge hit.
Yeah, it was.
And just to tag on another bag,
Big bag.
shout out to Aubrey Marcus and Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Just quietly collecting bags.
Huge bag.
Did you listen to the podcast?
No. I will.
He doesn't even know how to get to it.
I know that's the problem.
He's like Warren Buffett of podcasts.
I am.
Like he had a big run early on and he just can't even find the fucking spot.
I am. I absolutely 100% am. I promise I will though. But
Wait, which episode? What are you guys talking about? You're not
It
describing-
was my content of the week. It was,
okay. Got it.
Okay.
Yep. I did see some of the clips though on YouTube because they let him upload clips. Anyway, the reason why, because Joe Rogan is a big part owner and Aubrey Marcus, I believe, is the founder of Onnit.
Yeah.
So if you're a listener or anywhere in that kind of space, you're very familiar with it. They make supplements. They even make kettlebells. They make all sorts of healthy lifestyle stuff. They are selling to Unilever.
Unilever is out there buying shit.
Buying shit. Bags, like Oprah. You get a bag. You get a bag.
They just walk around. You got a nice little business. You're selling some powdered sugar.
Bag.
Bag.
There you go. So we don't know price. We have no idea, but it's got to be, bags on bags, right?
Yeah. So what happens is Unilever is such a big company. I think like $100 billion company. There's a dollar amount where you don't, a percentage of your, your market cap or whatever, you don't have to actually disclose it because it's not material. But like,
I don't like that. I think publicly traded, you should have to tell us everything.
So I think if it's less than 1%, you don't have to talk about it. And I think if they're 100 billion, this is probably less than $1 billion. It's probably why they don't have to mention the price. But everything I've heard, this business crushes. It's literally feels like on the backs of Joe Rogan. He's obviously all over the damn website.
Mm-hmm.
Even though drama doesn't listen.
But he knows that Onnit's Joe Rogan.
I've been listening for long enough, though, that I know Onnit. I was an originator. Do you realize that Onnit is not Onnit? Do you realize that Joe Rogan is like fully being attempted to be canceled right now? And there's like a whole trend once again in the TikTok world of like red flags with guys. If you're dating guys, they listen to Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Wait,
everywhere.
Wait, say that again?
Yeah, because he's
Onnit's a red flag.
yeah.
Hey,
They're saying,
Amanda.
like, Joe Rogan's like toxic
Joe
masculinity.
Rogan's toxic
That's
masculinity
bad.
like embodied in a human being, and
Then they should not listen to Barstool.
no, and he's being canceled right now because he said young people shouldn't get vaccinated.
Yeah.
But then he
Exactly.
clarified. He did come back and say I was wrong.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize like Joe Rogan has become like
Is he irrelevant?
not
irrelevant?
irrelevant. He's not irrelevant by any means. He's just the woke is really focused in on him.
Yeah.
Well, because when they saw the bag he got. But here's the thing: Joe Rogan to me falls in the Barstool camp. They're uncancelable. Their
Yeah.
core fans love them. And by the way, like for some people, it's the same thing. Like the base camp thing became, even I got messages about like, oh, all companies can't do that. Base camp is 60 employees, 20 quit. Okay, 20 people left. It made it sound, I had no idea what the fuck base camp was. And I thought they had thousands of employees.
It was all over Twitter.
Yeah, it was 20
crazy.
people quit.
20 people.
Yeah, we
20
gotta stop with that shit.
20 people quit. And then here's what you have to realize is that like the big mistake the CEO did is why'd you post a stupid fucking article? Just say that's your policy and move. You know how many companies have that policy?
I think they do it for publicity.
Because now a bunch of like
Yeah.
other people are like, oh, you know what? I love Basecamp.
Right.
You just shut up and dribble over there.
Yes.
It's stupid, man. The craziest thing about all this is that a lot of these issues are that it's 10 really pissed off people and it gets treated like it's like this huge thing. It's so crazy.
What's Feet's policy on this?
What's the...
Will you talk politics?
Are you allowed to talk politics in a public forum?
There's only 3 of them.
We have a
They
bigger
can do
team
whatever
now.
they want.
We don't really want to. I don't know. If someone wants to talk
What's
about
your
it, sure.
Slack? If someone's like, I'm Tim, AOC, all the way, what
I'd
happens?
just be like, is this an important conversation to talk about now? I don't know. Maybe go one-on-one with someone on this. Don't have it in the main channel.
That's what Basecamp
Well,
said.
whether it's politics or anything, whether it's personal life, it's just like, if it's not about work, then maybe not on the Slack channel. If you want to.
Yeah, I
Sounds like
think
you're
that's
canceled.
I think that's like a lot of employers' view that is now upsetting employees.
Interesting. So Basecamp was saying you can't talk about
In
anything.
public forum, they
They
said
basically
one-on-one
did the
you
Coinbase.
can.
They did the Coinbase, right?
But it's not even if it's 20 people, that's the non-issue.
Yeah,
This is literally like the vaccine
Yes.
blood clot issue.
yeah.
It's like not
Yeah.
let's see if it bubbles up more before.
And you saw all these Basecamp employees said, I am the marketing director of Basecamp. I officially
I saw
resigned
that,
today.
yeah.
I was like, come on, you're not Rosa Parks.
Well, they just wanted
Okay,
to get their
just
shine.
chill.
Their 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, I mean, the people are just acting like they made like a sacrifice like Rosa Parks did.
Yeah. It's a hot path to go down.
It's going to be,
Hot path.
Hot path.
this is
That's what
going to
they call me
continue to be an
in Ohio.
issue for so many companies. Because now other founders are going to be like, you effectively just said it, which I don't think is the wrong view. Like, why don't you just talk about it privately? And fortunately, probably most founders believe that's the right thing. It's not our job is to make money.
Do we think woke disappears in the next year?
No way.
No, woke never
Next
goes
year,
anywhere.
no.
They're woke. They're always awake.
Yeah, where are they going to go? Take a nap?
where do they
Never
go?
sleeps.
No, but I honestly do think, and I think that part of this is a shame for all the good causes. I think it's starting to become more and more and more just ignored.
Yeah.
Which I think there's a lot of good causes in there, and I do think that part sucks. But like, some people just overplay it, and it just seems to me like the tone is, all right, guys, come on, like that's not a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even from left people. But we'll see. Okay, what's up with this
Tim
Federer?
just shook his head.
Yeah, I think it's funny you guys have decided that everyone's part of this community of people that all get together and decide who we're going to cancel this week, because the only people I've heard talk about that article are you. And I'm connected with all the wokies that you talk about. Nobody's posting about that. Nobody knows about that.
Wait, so what's your point?
My point is that
you're not
you've
woke
created this wokey person who's doing all of these things. You've created a scapegoat.
But it's
and
happening.
everything that happens is like, oh my God, this is all the wokies. This is all the people who love AOC and Bernie. And like, that's not true.
the
I mean, this is
Basecamp
just
thing
a trend that's happening where people are bringing things to light, and that has no reflection on their political views, no reflection on their social views, no reflection on anything.
It does though, because this Basecamp thing was so public.
It went viral. I know it might not have been viral in your friend group. You're also a little younger. And
Like if I was
technology
you,
went
Tim, and I was in your friend group, I would think that this Basecamp thing is annoying because it's an issue that is in the press that is being tied to the woke sort of mentality that isn't a real issue.
I don't really know what the press is. I don't watch the news.
I know, but here's the thing.
News that I get.
Well,
The press is kind
therein
of
lies the
my own-
problem is that like
Yeah.
majority of countries still get news the way we do. which is watch TV, read newspapers. And so in the things we are consuming, the Basecamp thing was a big story. It was all over all the mainstream
So
press.
then the issue is journalists. Don't say woke people. Say journalists keep going for these like attention-grabbing headlines. Those are the people to blame. Like you don't blame a community of people that you've created. It's scapegoating.
Sure. I mean,
Sorry, I got my second dose of Moderna yesterday. I'm just, my head is killing me.
here's the thing.
This is pan-capitalist. Like, this is group chat, guys.
Tim's a superstar.
Yeah. Journalists are part of that movement. Of course they're allowed to be. It's the same way the right wing has right-wing journalists. These journalists are pandering to the audience they think will click on the article, right? Like,
Right.
I'm not clicking on it. I don't give a shit. Like, I was like, do whatever you want. It's your company. Doesn't affect me. That's my view. Like, I can't, here's the thing, as like a citizen, I can't fight every fucking battle. So I'm going to pick the ones that matter to me the most, that I feel like I can make an impact on. And so like, for me, who would lean left, it's exhausting. It's like, fuck, dude, you got to fight for everything all the time. It's not realistic. I'm married with kids and I run a business. It's like, I can't pay all my attention to like everything. So when the Basecamp thing comes across, I'm like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. Do whatever you want. Because it's not affecting people's lives. Like when I see kids getting gunned down in the street, I don't give a fuck what Basecamp does. He could tell every one of their employees to fuck off as far as I'm concerned. Because it's irrelevant in the grand scheme of how precious life is. That's what annoys me about Basecamp, talking about it.
Yeah.
Because there's
It
so many
annoys
more
you
pressing.
about the journalists that are willing to talk about it.
Yeah, it just the whole
Like, who gives a fuck if the CEO wants to?
I don't
make the
care. I
policy?
literally don't care what he wants to do. It matters to me nothing.
Yes.
Okay, well, listen, we could talk for 3 hours about this. We could call it pan-capitalism. We could just, you know what I mean?
I'll crush Tim on the next episode. Don't worry.
Just wait till he recovers from a second dose.
Yeah. Let's go back to bags.
Okay, back to bags. Federer. Fucking Federer. Okay, can we all agree on that?
He's a billionaire.
He's a billionaire. Okay, so he went and signed this new shoe deal. What's the company called? On?
What's up with Onnit?
Yeah, there's like
All the
It's a
Ons
good time
getting
to
back.
be an on. QAnon. Yep. So the shoe company is looking to IPO somewhere around a $5 billion valuation. So I'm guessing Roger Federer, who just left Nike, signed to these guys like a year ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Is just gonna collect the quickest turnaround of bags.
Yeah.
Record-breaking bag flip.
This is a record-breaking. That's a great terminology.
Thank you.
I mean, $5 billion valuation these guys are seeking. This is it's a really cool Swedish brand. They make footwear. They make apparel. I mean, the apparel is so bloody expensive. Like they have, I go on their site all the time just to see what they make. They'll sell a t-shirt for $90. It's like a long sleeve shirt for $120. It's just really expensive. The footwear is really popular in the running community. Like you see a lot of people wearing it.
The shoes are cool.
Really?
Shoes, they look cool.
You guys actually see them in the world?
Yeah, it's like the cool soles. You've definitely seen them before.
Yeah. On cloud.
Why are they extra squishy?
I have to show you a picture. They're just like crazy soles that you know it, and you look at the brand, you're like, what is this? Because no one knows how to pronounce it. It's the hardest brand ever to pronounce on running shoes.
But I mean, they're going public.
Kicked up. So he for sure took equity for the deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's
he's royalty. Roger Federer is royalty,
especially
when it comes to tennis.
Especially
when it comes to the whites, he's royalty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, especially in Switzerland,
all over the world.
Yeah.
I mean, Roger Federer is as royal as it gets,
and they're a Swiss company too. And it's just the combination.
Like billionaires are dying to hang with Federer.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
but all of Tim's enemies are dying to spend a day with Roger Federer.
For sure. Do you think?
How much do you think he owns?
I love how this turns.
How much do you think he owns? 5%?
I think that's too high. You think 5%?
I mean, how big were they before him?
They're big. They're big.
I bet they would do at least $1 billion in
I
revenue.
mean, you'd have to think that
I don't think they're that big.
You'd have to think in their meeting, they're like, look, we're trying to IPO this thing in a year. This will take us over the edge.
So let's say they even gave him 2.5%. That's a $5 billion. They gave him $100 million.
And I hear he's a great guy. Good for Roger.
He loves Rolexes. Yeah, Taylor.
Our friend knows him pretty well, and incredible family man.
I have a pair of his own shoes.
Yeah, you have a pair of his
actual
Roger Federer worn shoes in the office.
Yeah,
you do.
Yeah.
From that friend.
Yeah. What's funny is someone invited me to play tennis next week, and I was like, "What if I wear these?"
You should. You'd be great.
Are they your size? You're the same size as
Yeah,
Raj?
it's like he has really
He has
wide feet.
It's
so it's actually
made.
my size, but it's wide as fuck.
Weird.
Yeah.
He's got those platforms.
Maybe
to move
the
around
wide
on.
feet is why he's the greatest tennis player of all time.
He's
Carrying
like
around
a
all those
frog.
bags.
He's like a frog.
Jeez. Okay. That was the flip of all flips.
Yeah.
Okay. So look, everything on TV crushed, right?
Yeah.
Ratings down. Oscars is like, I mean, can't even, like, no one even watched it. The only ratings were people who accidentally left their TV on, I heard. Except for NFL Draft, the hottest thing in the world. What's going on?
So put things in perspective. The NFL Draft had 12.5 million viewers. The NFL Draft. There's no football being played. This is a bunch of guys, just a bunch of
That's just guys on stage, right? Saying like you, and then like it's a guy in a conference room.
And there's
like,
so much
yeah.
waiting time.
Yeah, it's
There's
so
an
slow.
incredible amount of
And they
waiting time
made
in between.
each pick go 10 minutes so ESPN could get commercials in.
You want to know why I think social media, all of Twitter trending was just names of people I didn't recognize that were picked or about to get picked.
So put into same coverage, the ratings for the Oscars was 9.85 million. Down 58%.
And that's the biggest stars in the world.
The world.
The
Fuck
biggest.
the Oscars.
And
Fuck the Oscars.
you know what? You know what the problem with the Oscars is? And this is
Everything.
sad. The inclusion screwed them.
Yeah.
Oh no, here we go.
You're
again.
saying you wanted all white people?
Oscars so white worked. If you look
You
at
didn't
the
want the
ratings,
Korean winning. You didn't want everyone winning.
yeah, they're just like, oh, all these movies, you gotta watch subtitles. No one wants to watch that.
I mean, I guess the NFL Draft, Trevor Lawrence, white. Zach Wilson, white.
yeah.
Trey Lance was black, 3. 4 was black.
No
Kyle
comment.
Pitts.
You guys are allowed to go ham.
I'm just saying, like, here's the thing. It's like,
This is Taylor doesn't want to talk about it.
I can't. I'm white. I can't say anything. Drum and I know our spots.
Yep.
but here's the real issue, and this goes back to the base camp issues. Oscars allowed a political conversation. That's their choice. They did it. It was bad for business. NFL said none of that shit is allowed here. You can't talk about it, and if you don't like it, don't fucking watch it. And guess what? It's probably a very diverse audience that watch NFL. All you guys are Indians. We're all watching it all fucking day.
I was obsessed with the NFL Draft. I was literally watching it every second, looking on tweet, trying to see
Who's next?
Who's next? If there's a leak for the next pick, I was all over it.
Yeah, man. There's something.
I wasn't
about
trying to leak who won Best Picture.
So
I can't wait to see.
So here's really interesting. So I was talking to, Will, who comes to Run Club.
Yep.
He was, he's into anime, and he's really into that whole scene. And I was talking about like how anime is so freaking popular, especially with young people. And I was like, I've watched anime. I'm like, what is the appeal? And he's like, it's just fun. It's simple. It's easy. And I'm like, what about like Marvel and stuff like that? He's like, I watch Marvel and I watch all of it and I love it. It's just everything is like too dramatic, a statement, political, like it's too serious. And I think there's just a majority of people are just like silly idiots and we just want to laugh. It's why like the movies I like to watch are dumb. Like I watch Bad Words again, which
Great
is
movie.
so completely politically incorrect.
But it's so good.
It's so good, but like I love it.
Bad Words is one of the most racially insensitive movies you could probably think
Who's
of.
in Bad Word?
Jason Bateman and a
And
little
he's
Indian
making
kid.
fun of a
And he's
little Indian
mixing-
kid the whole time.
He was
Is
Hey
it old?
Chaiwala
It's
Slum
like
Dog.
4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
incredible.
It's amazing. It's just if you're Indian, it's even funnier because
Yeah.
you're just like cracking Indian jokes the whole time, making
But
fun
we're
of a
okay
9-year-old.
with that.
Yeah, and I think that's what
And I'm
the
a big Bateman fan.
and so that's really becomes the problem is that like you look at the NFL and you would say 3-4 years ago they had a real crisis on their hand with what happened during the Colin Kaepernick situation. So much of the country was divided. So many people said they're not going to watch it. And like I, as a fan, the fan group is diverse. It's not just white people watching the NFL.
No, of course. No.
Everybody
Yeah.
watches the NFL.
But weren't NFL ratings down?
So I think that's just a function of all ratings. But the first couple of weeks of the NFL was like blockbuster.
Got it.
But
Like, the ratings are going to be down for all sports because it's just the function of the way people consume content.
Yeah. But I thought we were like hating on the Super Bowl and stuff.
the ratings were definitely down for the Super Bowl.
I honestly think that there's something about the draft, the anticipation, the Twitter. Like you don't get engagement like that on a game.
Yeah.
And literally every trending topic on Twitter was people's names of who's going to come next. And I feel like there's something to that. Like if I was the NFL, I would try to figure out how to like social media and produce the shit out of the draft to make it like exciting and tell the story of who these guys are and
Yeah,
little clip about them and their hometown. And like, I don't know. I think that there's really something to that piece of content specifically.
It's definitely very well done. It's like I didn't get to watch the first 2 days. I watched the third day. Third day?
Yeah.
And it's like the 246th pick or whatever it is. And I'm sitting here learning about, his father, his mom, his brother played lacrosse here. I'm like, whatever. And I'm just like, oh, it's interesting.
That should be on social. You should be encouraged to go find them and follow them.
If you get later in the draft when those people start announcing the picks, it's just pure electricity. Like they use like alumni, sometimes fans and other people can come up and announce the pick, and people just go nuts for it.
And you got to give credit to the people who narrate the draft. They make every pick seem like the most important person in the world.
Yeah.
Like this guy,
pick number 400
from
he's like-
Ole Miss, he runs off the corner at a 4.5. He can tackle, blah, blah, blah.
He's going to be a threat in the NFL.
And I believe it. I'm like, great.
Yeah.
I'm all
Sign me
in.
up. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's something to that piece of content in particular.
Yeah.
Pump it up. Yo, guys, I'm high as shit.
My high, your high?
We're all high.
Let's talk about My High.
Yeah.
How did the My High Thursday, Friday go for you?
It was great.
Yeah?
I had a big run on Friday and a big run on Saturday. So I was My High the night before.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. A lot of people, ask me about my recipes about My High.
Oh yeah, because you said you made like a margarita or whatever.
All I do is put it in club soda.
Oh.
That's it.
That's it.
Why don't you put some like margarita mix or
Yeah,
maybe
do
a
some
lime?
agave.
I don't want the sugar.
You don't even do like a lime or nothing. You just have club
soda.
But that's flavored, right?
It has monk fruit.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Gives it a little bit extra kick too. A little energy.
It has green tea in it too, so it doesn't make you sleepy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we've gotten nothing but incredible feedback. Everyone's loving My High. I mean, incredible job. What do we got? We got a discount for people, right?
Nope.
We actually don't.
No, we actually don't.
So it's
Not on this
Damn,
product.
this is the one we don't.
Well, THC is very hard to get.
So what's the call out?
Well, the call out is if you head over to Urban Markets, you can get it there in LA here, or you can get it delivered to you in LA with Urban Markets.
Hold on. Why don't you just say all that? Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Pete, tell them where do we get My High?
So you can get it at Urban Markets across LA, either pick up or they deliver right to you.
Yeah.
And then you just go to getmyhigh.com. There's also a store locator on there as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, everyone try it out.
Get high.
You got a big run tomorrow? Get some My High.
Just grab a little
to the
5
episode.
milligram.
Yeah, no hangover, man. Pound of
No.
My High.
Yeah.
And the
Wake
thing
up
is,
in the
you
morning and run.
and you don't really get like too high. That's the thing. That's the thing with
Yeah.
edibles. They're inconsistent. This stuff, it's calculated.
There you go. Okay, let's get back to the episode. Let's talk about momfluencers.
Yeah.
Either-
I love that space.
Have either of you guys thought about putting the wives to work here?
I would love to.
Not into it?
She's not into it.
Yeah.
I would love, we would get so much free shit.
Yeah,
And-
Haley would be good.
Does she still have more followers than you?
No, come on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen. Well, there might be a new spot opening up.
Yes.
Katie Sorensen is a momfluencer. Apparently, she lied. She made up a story about someone trying to kidnap her kids, and now she's facing potentially 6 months in jail. What is this?
A Latino couple, so it goes
And I'm
viral
guessing
even faster.
Katie Sorensen is white.
Yeah, white with the big W.
Got it. So she just completely made up this story. Whatever happened to what's his name, by the way? Who made up? Didn't?
Oh, the Chicago guy
Yeah.
who got beat up. What's his name?
Jesse
That's just
Smollett.
That just flew under the radar.
Yeah.
Okay. So Katie pulled a little Smollett.
Yep.
And what happened? She told this whole story. She used it on her channels as built hype, or what?
Yeah, I mean, this is the problem with social media is that like you only get engagement with hysteria.
Yeah.
Controversy. Taylor knows it firsthand from LinkedIn. It's like his controversial statements are the ones that went viral. Like he would,
True.
Let's maybe bring up the time he got kicked off, but I don't believe that shit.
I did get kicked off.
Did you
or
get
was
kicked
that
off?
part of your whole spiel?
Yeah, I feel like
Well,
if
we don't
there
have
was
to talk-
jail time riding on it, we
Yeah.
might know.
You got kicked off LinkedIn?
Yeah. Well, I got kicked out because I was using some of my virtual assistants in the Philippines to log into my account and respond to people and like sell them courses. And then they saw multiple logins from all over the world.
Got it.
And they're like, this guy's sketchy.
But that's what happened to, Logan Paul. It led him to, a suicide victim, David Dobrik. We are now seeing what that I feel like this thirst to always keep the clicks up in the influencer space is very dangerous.
So I when I was reading this article, I actually blame the algorithm that these social media companies have created on the reason why creators are going to these links to cause all this hysteria. Because if you had just never had that algorithm and it was chronological, Katie wouldn't have to do this. Yeah. Or David Dobrik wouldn't have to do it.
They're using a product that's not what it's built for.
Yeah.
But the algorithm mirrors human behavior. So the humans want this.
Well, they exploit human behavior, right? Like they exploit the worst in us.
Fair, but it's still in us.
Yeah, but I would watch it if it was a TV show or like if it was like a movie. That's all pretend. They're like taking real life.
She said that this couple was trying to kidnap her kids.
And she faked it.
But she just faked it like this is my question. How does that, I know it's super fucked up, but how does that lead to 6 months in jail? Like, what did she actually do? She named a couple. Yes. She called the police. She did the whole thing.
Yeah. So she's facing one count of giving false information to a police officer and another for giving false information to a police dispatcher. Each charge carries a maximum penalty of 6 months in jail. The Latino couple was Sadie and Eddie Martinez were cleared by the police.
So she just picked a random Latino couple and said, all right.
Yeah.
I got an interesting story here.
And that's the problem. They're trying to kidnap her kids at a local Michaels store.
Okay. So that's what the mom influencer game has come to.
Yep. But look, if you're not either that or go fight Floyd Mayweather. You choose. Get in a ring and beat someone's ass.
If it was like pretty big famous mom influencers fighting, that shit would.
I would pay money.
But imagine if it was like Ronda Rousey versus Katie Sorensen. That's essentially what Logan Paul's doing.
What's your view on Logan and Jake?
Geniuses. They're the smartest people in our generation by far. It's crazy what they're doing because they're able to endure.
Of your generation, people. Don't say my generation.
Yeah, I don't know. We can give.
Am I in your generation?
No.
How old are you?
27.
Oh,
but in like the 20s something, like, they're geniuses. The way they can exploit, or not exploit, the way they understand human nature and virality.
Exploit though.
Sure, exploit, but they're able to endure the negatives because they know there's positives on the other side of it. Same thing with Portnoy. Same thing with Joe Rogan. You have to be controversial to get like excitement and energy, and then.
But smartest of the generation, I think, is a little aggressive.
I think in a certain capacities or like in a certain sector.
What 20-something-year-olds are you more impressed by right now?
There's so many.
Sub 30.
How old's
30?
Fucking Ethereum kid.
Vitalik's a genius.
How old is he?
27.
Vitalik.
Okay.
Blows them out of the water, though.
He created the new financial economy.
Yeah. And there's like 5,000
I don't know. Would you rather be Logan Paul or Vitalik?
Vitalik all day.
Wait, Logan Paul has to go fight.
Would you rather be Logan Paul or Vitalik?
Yeah.
Vitalik's...
I'm sure a lot of kids would rather be Logan Paul, though.
For sure.
Yeah.
This is the only thing. No, I don't even want to say that because I support them. Like
they're winning.
I'm not like anti-Paul brothers, but like the only part that I do think is stupid is there's no purpose to any of it other than their own follower and financial gain. No purpose. So like there's so many people doing things that are actually like purposeful.
Like Amanda Gorman.
You don't even have to be fucking Amanda Gorman. I'm just saying like there are people building the next great companies and there's people like things that will really impact the world where this is just like look at me, pay me. That's the only thing that I think that when it comes to like how the next generation of kids, that mentality is a little scary.
Agreed. Yeah,
that's it.
And I think,
but I'm proud of them. I think I'm happy for them. All that stuff. I don't hate on what they do, but like even Jake Paul, Jake Paul won that fight. It was this awesome moment. He made a lot of money, and then he just can't help but go into the realm of like you're just disrespecting. It's not as good.
He was annoying about it for sure.
Yeah. Like there's a line. I know that's all for clicks, and I know that's going to get you your next fight. That's going to be huge, but there's this self-centered nature to it that I can't completely like.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think they're playing a character that they know works.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. But I mean, they're almost the rebels being armed and saying, look, we could take on traditional boxing. We could take on, like, it's the internet kids never got respect. And now it's like, they're the biggest and the best in the world.
That's fair.
Celebrity and attention.
Yeah.
Versus like traditional celebrities, So to me, I think it's cool that they're able to cross so many boundaries into boxing, into other entertainment, where it's like the biggest stars of the world are TikTokers and internet kids.
Yeah.
Like bigger than traditional celebrities, bigger than whoever.
Yeah.
It's impressive. It's cool. These are kids
I
that
like
show
it,
no
and
respect.
I like that part. I like the part that you have this like band of people that just broke all the barriers of agents and studios and just became famous because that's what the public actually wants.
Yeah. This is the old man version of me just saying that I wish, but fuck wishing. The problem is it's getting more and more common to be famous for the sake of being famous. Like when Paris Hilton did it, it was like an anomaly.
Yeah.
Now we're removing being famous from being very skilled at something.
But they're skilled at understanding.
Getting famous.
Yeah, which is the.
But that's not a.
But
you know what I'm saying?
Making content, inspiring, like being entertaining. They're entertainers.
Sure, I get that. I just that's my complaint.
Yeah.
Like I'm not. I wouldn't go on like a campaign about it. But that's my only thing is that they've sort of cheated the system. It's like companies
but
that
can
have,
we actually counter that?
Yep.
Basically, that the system was wrong. That's what the intermediaries did was wrong. That's not the entertainment people wanted. They want Logan and Jake.
Yeah, I think that it's like fast food. It's like people want Big Macs and supersized Cokes. But it doesn't mean that it's good long term. It doesn't mean that it's the right thing for them to want. That's all. That's my argument, right? And I think we're learning in this age where everyone is learning how to hack human attention. That's really what it is. Companies, Facebook, political people, Ben Shapiro, all the above. It doesn't mean that what people want in a click in an instant is actually what's good. That's my only.
But I guess the point is basically like you rather have William Morris and CIA decide the entertainment we consume rather than the public just deciding what the.
No, but I wouldn't say that it was
because I don't actually enjoy the fuckery of Logan and Jake.
I do. Just to be clear, I like it.
I love it.
It's so
I think it's
entertaining.
I mean, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I have no beef with it, but it's just not my entertainment. I'm fine with people enjoying it.
Yeah. No. All that I'm saying is like, look, I don't think the whole world was either WME decides or the people decide. Meaning, like, LeBron James still had to be LeBron James, or like these great artists still had to be great artists. Most of them, right? That's all I'm saying is I think that like people used to be a little bit more famous because you were really great at something and you aspired to be great at something so that you could get famous as an after effect. Now you just aspire to be famous and it's like, how can I hack it to get more famous? Like for instance, Logan and Jake, I love the fuckery, but there are people who have dedicated themselves to fighting that I think it's a good lesson for young people. Like dedicate yourself to something and get good at something, whether it's business, a marriage, anything in life. Dedicate yourself to something you could get good at it, where you're now just teaching, no, fuck it, just get the clicks, just get the attention, just call people bitches.
They actually work, right?
They're fighting. They're fighting. But if they fought real up-and-coming fighters, not even known names, they would get the absolute shit kicked out of them.
And I agree.
So we'll find out June 6th, Floyd and Logan.
100%. But still, like I don't think there's any chance Logan wins that, but you're still dealing with a weight difference that would never happen. And the guy's old. It's like fight a 25-year-old up-and-coming fighter that you would fight if you were a fighter.
Fight Canelo.
No. Fight a kid that you don't even know his name.
But there's no money in that.
No, I understand.
And there's no incentive. The system doesn't want to incentivize him to do that.
But don't you think we've figured out that the institutions hadn't been serving entertainment the way the public actually wants to consume?
Yes, you're 100% right. My only argument is I would say it's the same thing with like the way that Facebook serves polarizing content and people become QAnon supporters. The argument would be the same. Well, aren't you saying that CNN didn't give them what they want? They want to join QAnon. I'm just saying it is what people want. It's like saying, don't you realize that Whole Foods wasn't serving what people want? They want McDonald's. They do want it. I just don't know that long term it's something that's like I wouldn't. That's why my initial pushback was calling them the geniuses, the smartest people of the generation. I don't respect it on that level. I think the smartest people of a generation are ones that are actually thinking about how something impacts the world and makes a lot of money that way.
Yeah, and I would say the one thing is that because of the way the world's working in terms of who's the most influential, who's the most powerful, you cycle out so quickly if you don't sustain. Like Jake and Logan, unfortunately, are unicorns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're Airbnb and Uber.
Yes, they're unicorns. They've like
100%.
figured out, and you're gonna see if Bryce Hall can figure out in the next 6 months, is he gonna be relevant or
Yeah.
not? I don't know.
Yeah.
And
I agree with all that. I'm just saying I don't put them on that high of a bar.
They're not on the Mount Rushmore for you.
No, they're not.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah. I mean, look, maybe.
How do you feel about them?
He thinks it's Mount
I
Rushmore.
love that.
Mount
I think they're
Rushmore.
geniuses. Yeah, they are. And being able to see how they are on camera and then off, they're actually really smart and really strategic and work really hard.
They're very smart. I hated them until I met them.
They're really smart and they work their asses off.
Weren't you running with them?
Yeah, I went on a run with Logan like 6 months ago. We were talking about this fight and the way he thinks about it. I'm like, fuck, he's smart.
Yeah.
Fighting Floyd's a win-win. You get your ass kicked, you go viral and you get money and you fought Floyd. And if you win, you fucking beat Floyd. You're the only boxer to ever beat Floyd. You don't lose. He sets himself up in these really good situations. And the way he baited Floyd into it, like, they're really smart and they work hard. So I got respect for them.
I'm not. Just to be clear, I'm not denying.
Yeah, I've had a few conversations with them. They're sharp.
Really sharp.
They're
quick.
They're not relying on some random person to tell them what to do.
They come up, they do all their own strategy. They do it and they make it happen, which is respect. And they understand human nature so much more than a lot of people.
So how do we actually? So we're in this era of the Oscars are 50% down on ratings, and it's not just because of woke. No one gives a shit about the movies.
Yeah,
that's the real.
Well, because
reason.
you got to do blockbusters.
It's not about woke, and I know that's like the narrative. Like,
it's the movies. It's really the movies. It's like someone made a joke. Let The Rock host it. Rock and Jason Statham, and it's just Fast and Furious awards, and it would be the biggest.
So my point is, if we're in this era, the Oscars are down 50%, which the entertainment studios and agencies deem these as the most critical things to make.
Yeah.
And what we see, what the public really wants, is Jake Paul to fight Ben Askren.
Yeah.
Yes, Ben Askren should be getting an Oscar.
Yeah.
So what's the?
No, my point is, when are they going to figure it out? Like, stop with like this. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the thing is, even if those people figure it out, the ones who are winning, like the Jakes and Logans, won't go to the studios. They'll say, fuck you, we're doing it on our own.
No, you also have to look at this. They have figured it out in the sense of Endeavor just went public with UFC. You compare UFC to Jake and Logan, it's not even slightly comparable. And I wouldn't even think that it'd be worthwhile to get tricked into believing the argument. Like, the UFC is a business.
I believe in the UFC. Mm-hmm. So when those fights happen, I see it on social. Even though I'm not a fan, it's as big as a Jake Paul fight.
But it's not like that. It's the gyms. It's the merchandise.
Yeah.
That is a
community.
multi-billion-dollar business, as opposed to like a quick, amazing circus show where two guys are making a fuck ton of money.
Yeah, but it's
so they do see it as what I'm saying. Like, that's William Morris and Ari Emanuel. They don't give a fuck about Jake and Logan. I can guarantee you. They're like, come on. You think we care about these two guys?
I'll tell you, if I'm Dana White and I have vision in the sport, I look at that and it's to me, they're the internet, and comparing to Macy's, saying, the internet's never going to do it.
I agree with that.
When I see Jake and Logan, those numbers they're pulling, and they're just pulling them out of their ass with no real marketing support.
And no institution behind them.
Yeah,
because UFC is basically like, you're forcing it down our throats.
Yeah.
Well,
you have the ESPN, you have everything.
Everyone just like being like, you have to buy this fight.
This stuff is Instagram.
But guys, if you compare what the UFC is.
I know, but I'm saying is
I'm talking about the UFC. I'll take the UFC out of it because I think UFC is as culturally relevant as Jake and Logan.
Think about the size of the business.
But this is we're talking early days of these fights.
But what do you do here? There's a YouTube fighting league?
I just think your argument's like saying, look at 10, 15 years ago, look at Macy's and the size of this business. Look at these old e-commerce companies.
Not
They're
even
nothing.
close. Not even close. Because you're talking about, this is what you're talking about. You're talking about two unicorns of superstars
that
have decided to start fighting. So if you think that there is a potential, there's no other fight, not one other YouTuber, not one other anything that anyone gives a shit about.
Right now.
Yeah.
And I would be willing to bet you that the only way to sustain anything even close to these Jake and Logan numbers is if whoever it is, the next biggest YouTuber, I think Jake and Logan are uniquely good at getting the competition, building up the hype, whatever. I don't think any other YouTuber is as good as they are at pulling this off. And I think if it wasn't for them, nobody else can manufacture this, like you just said. They do all their own shit.
Yeah.
They are good at this. There are 2 people that are good. There's no business there, would be my argument.
I guess my argument is I think everyone's making great points.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is that I think it compresses the value of the creators that institutions tell us that are important, because we've just learned that these 2 guys can generate hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And it's going to compress the value of what an A-list star makes.
Well, and
there's only a certain number of people.
I'll give you an example that we're not even talking about, which is probably more money than the Jakes and the Logans on a day-to-day basis, are the people on OnlyFans. I've seen some of these creators' accounts. It is, but
there's a finite amount of money. So it's gonna get split up.
There's endless amounts of money.
But you realize all we're talking about.
Endless amounts of money. There's so much money everywhere, and there's so many people that are dying to spend it. You know what, like an OnlyFans does, and TikTok does, and it's the same. It's decentralizing. We get to choose.
Yes, I know. I agree, and that's the Oscars being down 50% is the biggest indication. No one gives a fuck about what the studios tell us what we need to listen to.
And I would just say that's as simple as look at all we just named like 2 of them, but there's 50 million new options.
Yes.
If all you're thinking about is attention, and that's all it comes down to, because I think that is, you have OnlyFans, you have video games, you have video game stars that are new, that those didn't even exist.
Yeah.
You have whatever. You could go on and on and on of all these different fragmented things. And so, this big thing that everyone used to have 4 options, and one was the Oscars on this night, and we're so excited, it just is irrelevant.
Yes.
You know? But
So
I think
if
the
you're
stars that
A-list
are winning, like here's a star that's winning that's an old school star, The Rock, because he's embraced social media and learned to play that game. But he's still, by all other accounts, an old school movie star.
Yeah, he makes his money.
But he's the biggest guy in the world.
Yeah.
So you just have to blend. It's just when you try to be like, here's our formal bullshit 4-hour-long ceremony, no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
Where's The Rock?
It should just
Where's
be
Jake
like
Paul?
Yeah.
Can they fight?
If that, for best actor, Jake and The Rock are going to fight it out. Whoever wins.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
I'd tune in.
Yeah, it's interesting though. I mean, this is the part I love about it all is who the fuck knows, right? So we're all making predictions and sort of having our angles, but like where this shit ends up in 5 years, who knows?
Yeah, it's really the institutions that think that they're the barriers to entry need to realize they're no longer the barriers. They need to embrace the other side. And if they don't, they'll be insolvent.
Yeah. I think not to keep going, I think my only thing back to that is there are still some, like to me, things like, if you just think about fighting, the UFC has done an incredible job at being a gatekeeper, really a pretty harsh gatekeeper, and still maintaining relevance week by week by week.
NFL does the same thing. Think about I don't
think you'll replace LeBron James in the NBA anytime soon.
So the NBA, on the other hand, there are leagues, there are feeder leagues, there's all these things happening adjacent to the NBA.
Yeah.
Which if I'm the NBA, I'm like, I don't own these. I don't own the overtime basketball league. I don't own these things. NFL ain't shit going on except an attempted effort at the XFL. Yeah. But like they really control. Yeah. They have college and
they basically have a problem once LeBron retires.
Yeah,
I can guarantee that.
Okay, let's see. Shout outs? Are we doing shout outs?
Yeah, we got a shout out from James Malone. He just graduated from college.
James. Start a YouTube page, man.
Yeah, he got a degree in marketing.
Learn boxing.
Go fly.
For real. I'm not kidding. Start boxing now.
So he listens to every single pod, opens every newsletter, and he wants to live in NYC or LA, and he asks, is any Kathy hiring? James, we just told you the secret. Just go to Rumble, start taking 3 classes a day.
A little more professional than Rumble.
Start there.
Yeah. Rumble, you can find an Instagram model.
Start at Rumble.
If you want to go to Rumble.
Well, yeah.
If you have a brother, fight him.
Yeah.
Just start anywhere.
Just, go on the street and find a buddy.
Here's practice. You have a brother or a friend, post on social media right now, fuck that guy, I'm beating his ass, Friday, 9 p.m., live streaming it. Everyone tune in. It'll be the biggest numbers you ever had.
Marketing degree. You didn't learn that in college? That is marketing.
There you go.
Beat the fuck out of someone on Instagram.
And apparently you just go to Miami and can do it because that's happening down there. So.
Go to Miami, see how many fights you can get into. Go.
Boom. Yeah. You'll come out of a weekend full of fights, bruises, and maybe a new contract.
There you go.
Good luck, James.
All right, Satosh, what do we got?
Today's letter is from Tim Jong-un.
Not bad.
He says, hey guys, I hope you're doing well today. Just listened to the second episode of the Pancap Pod, and it really hit home. Got big respect for the both of you. Tim telling the story of his mom and Onnit with Maverick. It was great seeing you both open up like that. While there's a lot of the story that I can't relate to, there's one aspect I could. Getting hate DMs. For some reason, when people have a bone to pick with the guys, they slide into my DMs instead. They come at me for everything. It's not my fault the guys decided to have guests going on the pod or the Dogecoin is down. If you got beef with Anand or need a finance job, slide into his DMs instead. If you constantly feel the need to label others as betas or soy boys, chances are you're the beta. It's easy to be insecure when you've got vertically integrated meat. From here on out, the only DMs I want are brand deals, pictures of drama smoking cigars, short story long requests,
You got it.
memes, book recommendations, and of course, shout outs. That's pretty much it for me.
All right, Satosh.
Not bad, man. But Satosh, I mean,
what was that? I mean, that guy.
it's too friendly, bro.
Too friendly.
You know what I mean? I think Anthony hit him with the.
Yeah, I think he rocked him.
I
Now
will
he doesn't
say,
know what
people are
direction to
afraid
go.
to talk shit to me in DMs.
Really?
Yeah. I get once in a blue moon. I know people don't like a lot of things I say.
Well,
so.
most people in general are not confrontational.
The good news is 2 people like my book recommendations, so
That's good.
we keep those up.
I got a retweet from Trauma on Twitter, so I think he's
Yeah,
on
I
Twitter.
can't look. I forget to post the episodes all the time, so the least I can do is retweet on it. Okay, we're good.
We're great.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Taylor. Welcome back.
Welcome
See
back.
how long you
Having me.
stay.
Yeah,
But as long as the city stays hot, you'll be here.
Yeah.
exactly. Keep
Well,
it
no,
hot.
that'll be the barometer. If
Yeah,
Taylor
dude,
leaves,
where's
right?
Taylor? And you can
There should be like a
Taylor
tweet how they had
barometer.
did the Lakers win Twitter?
Yeah.
There should be like is Taylor, what city is Taylor in?
Where's Taylor?
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay, good stuff. All right, everyone have a good rest of your weekend. We'll see you on Tuesday.
Peace.